I, male, 19, caught my stepmom, female, 38, throwing out all my dead mom's belongings while my dad is away on a business trip. Throwaway account because my friends know my main and I don't want this getting back to my family right now. Sorry for any formatting issues. I'm typing this on my phone in my room with the door locked because I don't even want to look at my stepmom right now. So basically, my mom Karen died from cancer about 2 years ago. It was really hard on all of us, obviously. My dad, male, 51, was like completely devastated. And honestly, we all were just trying to figure out how to live without her. I still live at home while going to the community college nearby, and my sister Emma, female 22, is away at State University about 4 hours from here. My dad met Melissa at this grief support group thing like 10 months after my mom died. They got married super quick, like after only dating for 7 months. I mean, I had some reservations about how fast everything happened, but my dad seemed happier than he had been since mom died, so I was just like, whatever makes him happy, I guess. Emma was way more skeptical from the beginning. She kept saying things like, "Don't you think this is weird?" And "she gives me bad vibes," but I thought she was being dramatic, to be honest. One thing that's been really important to me and my dad is my mom's office in our house. We've kept it basically the same since she died. My mom was an artist who painted for people, and the room has all her artwork, photo albums she made for us, her collection of old cameras from her grandfather, and other personal stuff. My dad and I would sometimes just go sit in there when we were having a rough day. It sounds weird maybe, but it made us feel close to her. I failed my driving test for the 3rd time last week because of my stupid anxiety, and it's embarrassing because all my friends have their licenses. I have to take the crappy bus to my classes and job at Pete's Pizza, where my manager keeps trying to give me more shifts, even though I need to focus on school. So when Melissa first moved in, she actually seemed pretty cool about everything with my mom. She even suggested we plant this memorial garden in the backyard with my mom's favorite flowers, which we did last spring. But then, like 3 months ago, she started making these comments about how the house feels stuck in time and how Karen would want you both to move forward. I thought she was just concerned about us still grieving and stuff, which I get, I guess. But now I realize she was setting up for something else entirely. Melissa gradually started changing things around the house. Like, she replaced a bunch of our family photos with new ones of her and my dad, rearranged all the furniture, and painted the living room and kitchen these weird beige colors. I didn't really care about the house changes since the place needed freshening up anyway. But at the same time, it's weird to see my childhood home becoming someplace I barely recognize. Does that make sense? I don't know. My dad works as a project manager for this construction company and has to travel sometimes to check on sites. He left on Monday for this 4-day trip, and Melissa seemed weirdly excited about him being gone. I just assumed she was happy to not have to watch his boring history documentaries that he's obsessed with. Lol. On Tuesday, my friend Tyler came over to study, and he was like, "Dude, your house looks really different. Where'd all the family photos go?" And I got all defensive about it, telling him that change was healthy and stuff. I think I was just trying to convince myself everything was fine. But then Wednesday happened. I was supposed to be in class until 4, but my professor canceled the last hour, so I got home early around 3. As soon as I pulled into the driveway, I noticed this huge dumpster that definitely wasn't there in the morning. I was confused, but figured maybe Melissa was doing some kind of surprise home project or something. I came in through the side door and heard these thumping noises coming from upstairs. I walked up quietly. I don't know why I was being quiet in my own house, but something felt weird. When I got to the top of the stairs, I saw the door to my mom's office was wide open, and then I saw her. Melissa was in there throwing my mom's paintings into these big black garbage bags. She was muttering something under her breath about finally getting rid of this junk while she was doing it. I just stood there frozen watching as she tossed my mom's journals into another bag. There were already several boxes filled with my mom's clothes and books. Then she picked up the box with my mom's camera collection. These cameras were super important to my mom. She got them from her grandfather, who was a photographer back in the 60s. She used to let me hold them when I was little and taught me how to use some of them. I must have made some noise because Melissa suddenly turned around and saw me standing there. She jumped a little bit, but then immediately composed herself and smiled at me. She told me that my dad and her had decided it was time to turn the office into a guest room. I noticed right away that the photo albums that were always on the shelves were completely gone. Those albums had all our family photos in them. Pictures of me and Emma growing up, my parents' wedding photos, everything. I asked her what the hell she was doing, and she claimed that she and my dad had talked about it before his trip and agreed it was time to move on and convert the room. She seemed so confident about it that for a minute I actually questioned myself. Like, had my dad mentioned this to me and I forgot? But no, there's no way he would agree to this without talking to me and Emma first. But I was so shocked, I just helped her move some boxes in this weird daze, and then went to my room to try and process what was happening. I feel so stupid about that now. That night, after Melissa went to bed, I snuck out to the dumpster to see if I could save anything. I managed to get a few of the photo albums and some of my mom's journals, but a lot of stuff was already ruined from the rain or buried too deep for me to reach. I was literally digging through garbage with tears running down my face trying to save my mom's things. I called Emma right after, and she completely lost it. She was so angry and kept saying there was no way Dad would have agreed to throw away Mom's stuff. She wanted to drive home right away, but her car's been having issues, so she couldn't. I don't want to cause drama in the family or anything, but I feel really hurt and betrayed by what Melissa did. These weren't her things to throw away. That wasn't her decision to make. The worst part came this morning. As I was leaving for class, I overheard Melissa on the phone with someone, probably her sister, talking about how the office was finally cleared out and most of Mom's stuff was gone. Then she said once I move out too, they can really make this place theirs. I'm pretty sure she was talking about ME, like she wants me gone too. I don't know what to do. My dad comes back tomorrow, and I'm not sure if I should confront Melissa directly or wait and talk to him first. I've taken pictures of the dumpster and saved what I could. Part of me wants to just show my dad everything the minute he walks through the door. But what if he actually did agree to this? I don't think he did, but I don't know. Any advice on how to handle this would be really appreciated. I'm sitting here in my room surrounded by the few things of my mom's I managed to save, and I just feel sick. Edit. Holy crap, this blew up. Thanks for all the responses. To clarify some things that people are asking about. 1. Yes, I took pictures of the dumpster and the stuff I managed to save. I also recorded a video walking through my mom's office showing how empty it is now compared to before. 2. No, my dad definitely did not agree to this. I just texted him asking a subtle question about changes to the house without mentioning specifics, and he seemed completely confused. So she straight up lied to me. 3. Someone asked about the cameras. I couldn't find them in the dumpster. I'm worried she might have sold them or something because they were actually pretty valuable. 4. I'm not moving out. This is my home too, and I'm still in school. Melissa can't just decide I need to leave. I'll update after my dad gets home tomorrow. I'm going to show him everything. Now for the first update. I caught my stepmom throwing out my dead mom's belongings, and now I think she's trying to get rid of me too. First, thank you to everyone who commented on my last post. I wasn't expecting that many responses. I've been reading through all your advice while trying to deal with this whole situation. Sorry I didn't update sooner, but things have been complicated. So my dad got home from his business trip 5 days ago. I had this whole plan to immediately show him the pictures of the dumpster and the stuff I managed to save, but Melissa has been constantly with him since he walked through the door. I swear every time I try to get my dad alone, she suddenly appears with some random question or urgent thing they need to discuss. It's driving me crazy. Emma was supposed to drive down to help me talk to Dad, but her car's transmission died. She can't come until it's fixed, and I'm basically dealing with this alone, which honestly feels super overwhelming. I've been so stressed that I'm barely sleeping and my grades are starting to slip. My English professor actually pulled me aside after class yesterday and was like, "Jason, is everything okay at home?" Which was mortifying because I hate when teachers notice stuff like that. But whatever. Anyway, I finally managed to get my dad alone 3 nights ago by offering to drive with him to pick up takeout from this Chinese place we like. As soon as we were in the car, I brought up what happened. I asked my dad if he had told Melissa it was okay to clear out Mom's office. He seemed confused and asked what I was talking about. When I explained that I caught Melissa throwing out Mom's things from her office, he just said she had mentioned wanting to reorganize some things. I told him about the dumpster in the driveway and how she was throwing away Mom's paintings and journals. I asked specifically about Mom's camera collection from her grandfather, and he hesitated before saying he thought she was going to store them safely somewhere. I showed him the photos of the dumpster filled with Mom's stuff. He looked disturbed, but just said he would talk to Melissa about it. When I asked if he actually agreed to turn Mom's office into a guest room, he just sighed and said they had discussed possibly making changes someday. I know I should have pushed harder, but he had this look on his face that I couldn't really read. Like he was processing everything. I don't know. When we got back with the food, Melissa immediately knew something was up. She started talking super fast about how Emma's old room was already a guest room, so it made sense to update the unused office too, because they couldn't keep rooms frozen in time forever. My dad didn't say anything during her whole explanation, which I thought meant he was agreeing with her. I realize now he was probably just uncomfortable and processing everything I'd told him, but in the moment I felt like he was taking her side. Later that night, I heard them arguing in their bedroom. I couldn't hear everything, but my dad was definitely questioning why she got rid of stuff without talking to him. I heard him specifically ask about Mom's cameras. Melissa started crying, which sounded fake to me, and said she was only trying to help the family move forward and couldn't stand seeing Dad living in a shrine to Karen. For a minute, I actually felt kind of bad for causing problems between them. Like, maybe she really thought she was helping. God, I'm an idiot. But then I remembered how she was literally muttering about finally getting rid of this junk while throwing away my mom's paintings. The next day, Melissa's whole attitude toward me completely changed. She started making these weird comments at dinner about young adults needing to learn independence and how studies show living at home indefinitely can prevent personal growth. At first I thought she was just making conversation. I'm so stupid. But now I realize she was totally talking about me. I mean, I'm perfectly capable of living on my own and don't need to stay in this house forever, but also I'm literally a full-time student working part-time at a pizza place. Moving out right now would basically mean dropping out of college because I can't afford both rent and tuition. And this is my home too. I started getting really suspicious about what actually happened to all Mom's stuff. So I did some investigating while they were both out yesterday. I checked all the storage areas in the house and garage first. Nothing. Not a single box of Mom's things anywhere. So I decided to look in Melissa's spaces. I know that's probably wrong, but I honestly don't care anymore. In her desk drawer, I found a receipt from some consignment shop called Vintage Treasures, listing a vintage camera collection for $1,200 and assorted jewelry. I also found a notebook with calculations of our house's value and equity, and printouts of apartment listings near my campus with notes about rental costs. While I was searching, I also found my childhood teddy bear that disappeared like 3 years ago in her craft closet with its arm partially cut off, which is really disturbing. But that's not even the main issue right now. I went to that consignment shop yesterday pretending I was looking for vintage cameras for a photography class. The owner was super nice and confirmed that a woman named Melissa had brought in multiple items over the past 2 months. Cameras, jewelry, and even some artwork. I almost threw up when I saw my mom's pearl necklace in their display case. That necklace was supposed to go to Emma someday. It's been in Mom's family for like 4 generations. I took pictures of everything I found in the shop as evidence. At this point, I started doing some serious research on Melissa. She's always claimed she works remotely as a marketing consultant, but I've literally never seen her actually working. Turns out, she has no job at all. And before she met my dad, she was evicted from her apartment and had tons of credit card debt. I only found this out because I accidentally saw a letter from some debt consolidation place addressed to Melissa Harrington. Apparently, she was married before. I'm now 100% convinced that she married my dad for his money and our house, and now she's systematically erasing my mom's existence while also trying to get rid of me. Things got even worse at dinner last night when Melissa casually announced that her sister might need to stay with us for a while after some upcoming surgery. Then she immediately looked at me and suggested it might be time for me to experience dorm life so they would have my room available. My dad looked super uncomfortable, but only said they would discuss options later. Later that night, my dad came to my room and asked if I had ever considered moving into campus housing, saying he would help with the additional costs. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I just stared at him until he left. It feels like such a betrayal that he's even considering this. Then this morning, Emma texted me saying that our mom's sister, Aunt Diane, called her really upset. Apparently, Aunt Diane tried to reach our dad about borrowing some family recipes and photos for a memorial project she's working on, and Melissa told her that they had gotten rid of Karen's things because Robert needed closure. I'm furious. Melissa has been manipulating my dad and lying to our entire family. She sold my mom's precious belongings for money. She's trying to push me out of my own home, and she's literally erasing every trace of my mom's existence. I've been gathering all the evidence, receipts, photos, everything, and I'm going to show my dad everything. Emma is trying to get her car fixed as soon as possible so she can come help me confront both of them. I feel like I'm living in a nightmare. How do I make my dad see what's really happening before it's too late? Edit. Some people are saying I should have confronted my dad more directly in the car. You're probably right, but I was honestly in shock that he seemed so dismissive about mom's things. I think Melissa has been working on him for months, making little comments about moving forward and stuff. To those asking about legal options, I'm not sure. The house is in my dad's name, and technically I guess Melissa could throw out whatever she wants as his wife. But selling the family keepsakes that were meant for Emma seems wrong on so many levels. A few people have suggested I'm overreacting about the teddy bear thing. Maybe, but it was definitely my bear. It has my initials sewn on the foot, and the arm was partially cut off. Who does that to someone else's childhood toy? It just feels really creepy. Yes, I'm positive my dad would never have agreed to get rid of mom's things, especially not her cameras and the family jewelry. He was devastated when she died, and that office was really important to him too. I think Melissa is manipulating him, and he's too nice to see it. Now for the second update. First off, I want to thank everyone who commented on my previous posts. So it's been about 3 weeks since my last post, and things have escalated way more than I ever expected. I don't even know where to start, honestly. I guess I'll just try to explain everything that's happened in order, but my brain is all over the place right now, so sorry if this jumps around. After I discovered the receipt from the consignment shop and realized Melissa had been selling my mom's things, I decided I needed to gather as much evidence as possible before confronting my dad. I wanted to be absolutely 100% sure he couldn't dismiss what was happening or let Melissa talk her way out of it. Oh, by the way, my car's transmission completely died last week, which has been a whole separate nightmare. I've been taking the bus to campus and work, which adds like an extra 2 hours to my day and means I have to wake up at 5 a.m. for my early classes. Just another fun thing to deal with on top of everything else. Anyway, I spent the past few weeks investigating Melissa. The whole time she kept making these subtle comments about me needing independence and how young adults benefit from living on their own during dinner. Super obvious, she was trying to get rid of me. So I decided to reach out to my mom's best friend Charlotte, who I haven't really seen much since mom died. She was basically like a second mom to me growing up, and I figured if anyone would know what my mom would have wanted done with her things, it would be her. When I called Charlotte, she seemed really surprised to hear from me. Turns out, Melissa had told her that our family was purging painful reminders and had specifically asked her not to bring up my mom around my dad because it was setting back his healing process. Charlotte said she thought it was weird but didn't want to interfere if that's what my dad needed. I was furious when I heard this. Melissa was literally isolating my dad from people who shared memories with my mom, like systematically cutting off anyone who might remind him of her. Sorry for all the caps, but I'm seriously still so angry about this. Then I made a discovery that confirmed everything. I know this sounds completely wrong, and I've always believed in respecting privacy, but I needed to protect what's left of my family, so I looked through some financial papers in my dad's office. I found statements showing Melissa had created a separate bank account and had been transferring small amounts from their joint account into this separate account for months, like since basically right after they got married. We're talking thousands of dollars over time. I called Emma right away and sent her pictures of everything I'd found. She finally managed to get her car temporarily fixed enough to drive down last weekend, and we spent the entire Saturday organizing all the evidence into this folder. We had photos of the dumpster, the receipt from the consignment shop, pictures of mom's things being sold there, screenshots of messages from family members, and now these bank statements. We decided we needed to approach Dad together with everything at once, without giving Melissa a chance to interrupt or manipulate the situation. So we planned this formal family meeting for Sunday afternoon when Dad would be home from his weekly golf game. Sunday morning, I was so nervous I could barely eat. My hand was still bandaged from this stupid burn I got at work the night before, and it kept catching on the papers as we set everything up, which was driving me crazy. Emma and I arranged all the evidence in order on the coffee table and practiced what we were going to say. The whole time I kept worrying that Dad might choose Melissa over us because she's been working on him for months. I kept thinking about all those stories you hear about parents picking their new spouses over their kids. Melissa was acting super suspicious all morning, asking Emma pointed questions about why she had visited without much notice. We just told her we wanted to have a family discussion about future arrangements, and she actually seemed pleased about that. I guess she thought we were going to discuss me moving out or something. When Dad finally got home from golf around 2 p.m., he looked concerned the minute he walked in and saw us all sitting there with this serious setup. He hesitated before coming in and sitting down. Melissa immediately sat right next to him on the couch super close. Emma suggested that maybe Melissa might want to give us some private family time, but Melissa straight up refused, saying anything involving Dad concerned her too. I knew right then this was going to be ugly. Emma started by saying we'd discovered some disturbing things Dad needed to know. I handed him the first photos of the dumpster filled with Mom's belongings. Dad looked confused and glanced between the photos and Melissa. Melissa immediately said she was only clearing out unused items with Dad's permission. I showed the consignment shop receipt for Mom's camera collection. Dad's face changed from confusion to shock. Melissa started talking super fast, claiming she was just organizing things to prevent painful reminders. She kept using phrases like unhealthy attachment to material possessions and moving forward in the grief process. Emma showed the photos of Mom's items currently for sale in the consignment shop, including the pearl necklace that was supposed to be hers someday. Dad asked Melissa if she sold Karen's cameras and jewelry. His voice was really quiet. Melissa tried to justify everything as helping everyone move forward and said the house needed updating so they could build new memories together. Then I pulled out the bank statements showing Melissa's separate account. Dad looked shocked when he saw those documents. He kept looking at the statements and then at Melissa. Melissa stood up suddenly, saying she was being ambushed, and this was all being taken out of context. Emma showed him the messages from Aunt Diane and Charlotte about how Melissa had told them not to mention Mom anymore. I played the recording of the consignment shop owner confirming Melissa had made multiple visits to sell items over the past couple months. Dad asked Melissa why she lied about the reorganization. His voice was shaking. Melissa's whole attitude changed. She started accusing me and Emma of living in the past and refusing to let their father be happy. She said we were trying to come between them. Dad asked if she sold Karen's family jewelry that was meant for Emma. Melissa admitted she did, saying they needed to update the house. Then she added that she's been stuck living in a shrine with Dad's failure to launch son, meaning ME. Dad stood up. He was shaking with anger. He asked her if she married him for his financial stability and house. Melissa said that at least she got him living again instead of worshiping a dead woman. The room went completely silent. Then Dad told her to pack what she needed tonight and leave. Melissa changed her approach when she realized Dad was serious. First, she started crying and pleading. Then she started threatening him about taking half of everything in a divorce. Then she said me and Emma had manipulated the evidence to drive her away because we never gave her a chance. Dad asked us to give him a moment alone with Melissa. I was really worried he might give in to her. Emma and I waited in the kitchen for about 20 minutes. When we came back to the living room, Dad was alone. He told us he had told Melissa to take only her personal belongings and leave that night. He said he would have her other things sent to her sister's house later. Watching Melissa pack was really weird. She was furiously throwing clothes into suitcases while muttering about our ungrateful family and how we would regret this. Dad just stood by the front door as she was leaving, ignoring all her attempts to speak with him privately. It started raining really hard as she was loading her car, and none of us offered to help her carry things. I know that's petty, but honestly, it felt kind of satisfying in the moment. As soon as she was gone, Dad called a locksmith to come change all the locks that same night. The next morning, he contacted our family lawyer to begin divorce proceedings, citing financial fraud and theft of family property. He also froze their joint accounts and credit cards to prevent Melissa from accessing any more family funds. That night, Dad and I had a really emotional conversation where he apologized for not seeing through Melissa sooner. He told me that she had been subtly turning him against me with comments about how he was enabling dependency and suggestions that I was resisting her out of jealousy. Apparently, she'd been planting these seeds for months. We've been trying to recover as much of Mom's stuff as we can. The consignment shop owner was actually really nice and let us buy back the unsold items at cost. But Mom's wedding ring and most of the family jewelry had already been sold, and the shop owner didn't have records of who bought them. Emma was really upset when she found out her pearl necklace was gone forever. Sometimes I still wonder if I should have noticed what was happening sooner or done something differently. Dad keeps insisting that Melissa targeted our family specifically because we were grieving and vulnerable, and that she's probably done this before. The one unresolved thing is that Emma is still really angry with Dad. She participated in confronting Melissa, but she's told me privately that she's not sure she can fully trust Dad's judgment again. She refused to stay at the house during her visit and got a hotel room instead. I'm worried about this creating a permanent rift between them. It's been a week since Melissa left, and Dad has started therapy to process everything. We've begun restoring Mom's office with the items we managed to recover, though so many things are permanently lost. Melissa has called Dad like 20 times trying to explain and work things out, but he's completely ignoring her. I feel relieved that she's gone, but also still angry about everything we lost. Dad has been super supportive, and I'm glad he believed us and stood up for us, but I'm worried about him too. He looks like he's aged 10 years in the past week. The healing process for our family is just beginning, and honestly feels really complicated and uncertain. I don't even know if I have a question at this point. I guess I just wanted to update everyone who gave me advice and support. This whole situation has been a nightmare, but at least Melissa is gone and can't hurt our family anymore. Edit. To those asking about legal action, Dad's lawyer is looking into whether we can press charges for theft regarding the cameras and jewelry. Apparently it's complicated because she was Dad's wife, and there's some question about whether the items were considered joint property. The lawyer is also working on making sure the divorce happens as quickly as possible.